So for some of you who may be new to this meeting, I will speak louder, Trish. We will start this meeting with a guided meditation, and then you're welcome to explore whatever questions you may have. So to start with, if you can, you're welcome either to close your eyes or turn your gaze inward and rest. Welcome yourself, welcome your experience as it appears to you. Rest as presence. We can let go of the past and let go of whatever tasks you may need to do. You'll get to them later. For now, simply come to presence and welcome yourself as this presence. You may notice that your experience is composed of perceptions, thoughts, and sensations. As well as something else besides that which is perceived, which is the perceiving aspect, the fact of perceiving. The reality of perception. This awareness which is invisible to the senses, and yet undeniable. And this awareness is effortless. There is nothing that you actually need to do in order to hear these words. Nothing that you need to do in order to simply be. Nothing that you need to do in order to know that you are. That which is also knows that it is. That which is perceives and knows that it perceives. your reality and the reality of that which perceives are one and the same. They are not two. Your reality and the reality of that which knows that it is are not two. There is a reality to that which you perceive. But at most, the reality of that which you perceive is equal to the reality of that which perceives. At most, the reality of the world which you perceive, the reality of sensations, the reality of the body which you perceive, the reality of your mind, of thoughts and memories which you perceive is equal to your reality. Which is awareness, consciousness, invisible to the senses, without borders, whenever you look for any limits to the reality which perceives, whenever you look for any limits to I, in fact, you don't find any. You may find thoughts and sensations, images, but you won't find any actual borders. You won't find any limits, any conditions upon awareness. When you look at effort, you will find that effort is always either on behalf of a fictitious entity or necessary to accomplish certain practical functions. But you will not find any effort to become aware. Effortless awareness is your true nature. Free, not dependent on anything phenomenal. That which understands these words, that which perceives this perception, is awareness itself. we confuse ourselves to be the body-mind, to be a limited consciousness, to be a male or female form. You are not anything which you perceive. You are free to define yourself any way you wish, because your freedom is God's freedom, infinite freedom. Any way you define yourself is limiting. Because you define yourself as a body-mind, as a person. And you will spend your life living under this limitation, struggling, seeking for happiness outside of yourself in a variety of experiences, which will not fulfill you. But of course, you are welcome to go for it. Only your interest in truth and your dedication to the understanding will reveal to you the garden, will reveal to you the causeless peace that does not come and go. When you are doing any effort, ask yourself, on whose behalf is this effort being conducted? Is it on behalf of your personal self, whatever that is? Or is it arising out of love, out of joy, out of freedom, out of your love for creativity or your love for expression? Ask yourself, what are you looking for? For whom and for what purpose? What really matters to you? Allow yourself to be guided by reason, intelligence, and love. Because love is compassionate, fair, non-judgmental, always available. You don't need to look far. It's right here. Love is real. When it shines in your heart and through your actions, it enlightens the world. Brings solace to people's hearts around you. without any effort. No effort. In time, you discover that you are that you are love itself. And upon this understanding, your body becomes a channel in your mind, an expression of this love, which is universal. It belongs to everybody. Do not confuse yourself to be a limited body-mind. Investigate that belief so that you become free of this unnecessary limitation. And via that understanding, without doing anything, you heal around you all the wounded, pained hearts. Know that I am refers to universal being. The I that you are is a universal self. Everyone is your very self. Everybody is yourself. The same I that I am shines in everybody's being as everybody's being. There is no separation anywhere. Be clear. This understanding is yours so that it can spread throughout your entire being and beyond. Somehow my screen, I must have pressed something by mistake. My screen is only some of you, but I heard you, Frank.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I cut in on you as you were talking. I thought you were done.
Oh, okay. I got it fixed. All right.
Okay.
Did you have a question, Frank?
Yeah, I do have a quick question. So I've been thinking a lot about this. You were talking about perception today. And you, by the way, great meditation. I really enjoyed it. The idea, thing about, the thing about, can you hear me, Magdi? Magdi, can you hear me?
Frank, I can hear you.
Some people are such fools, little children.
Did you hear Frank?
No.
Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah, can you hear me now?
No, I don't.
Can you hear me?
Holger, do you hear Frank? Or you can?
I'm back on now.
I hear Frank. Yes, I can hear him.
Something's going on.
Just wait a moment, Frank.
Let me see.
Sure, no problem.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sorry, I cannot hear you, Frank. Holger, can you speak? Can I hear you?
1, 2.
Oh, I don't hear you.
5.
Okay, there must be something with my audio. Let me see. What did I do here?
There's people on the chat that don't belong, I'm sure.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Okay, Nathan, can you say something? See if I hear you. Oh, okay, no, I don't hear you. Let me see. I maybe need to go to my settings. Let me see. Input is good. The output is okay, let's try now.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, somehow.
Perfect.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. You can hear me now, Magdi?
That's right. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks for that meditation, Magdi. That was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. You talked about perception. So I was thinking the other day, actually just yesterday, I had this just most unbelievably delicious drink. It's a green drink with a cucumber with it's like a cucumber drink, and it had anyway, it doesn't matter what it was. I'm just adding this in for just for fun, but it was just the most delicious thing I've ever had. And I sat there doing a little inquiry, and and just see what the mechanism was in place that was just letting me enjoy, like feeling that feeling of enjoyment. So I sort of got to the question came up that, okay, so the body took something into itself. I put something into the body, a drink, right? And there was this feeling of just elation and just joy and satisfaction and just deliciousness. And I thought it's funny that I think this is why materialists really hang on to this idea that matter comes first. Somehow mind comes out of matter, which is a ridiculous idea. I know, but I can almost see how they can think that, because it almost feels like the thought that came after, like the idea that I was enjoying this drink came after the act of taking the drink in a material way, so to speak. So can you talk about this? And because it does bring up that it brings up a doubt about this whole thing. Because the awareness, it seems like the awareness comes after the fact of the deliciousness of the drink. Does that make any sense? Is what I'm saying making any sense? I don't know.
Let me see. I'll give it a try, and you can adjust me if I'm going off.
Okay, I will. Because I don't think I'm formulating it all that well. But go ahead. I'll listen.
So, so there's a thought that arose to you. You're thirsty, or you feel, or an image of a drink, and thought about making a cucumber drink or buying a cucumber drink, and you did. So thought led to an action, And then you drink the drink, and you think afterwards the thought arose, wow, that was a really delicious drink. So you're saying that the awareness of the drink was post drinking. Is that, am I understanding you correctly?
Well, you know, the taste, okay, when we taste something that's really good, that feeling of taste,
yes.
Whether it's delicious or not, it comes after imbibing the drink or eating whatever you're eating, right? Yeah. So I don't understand how that works.
Right. Well, there is a commentary, an appreciation. A thought may arise, wow, that tasted really good. And this commentary, which is a mind commentary, is not the actual act of drinking, right? There is an actual act of drinking, which is void of any commentary. The commentary, the appreciation, well, you're not going to drink a bitter drink, or too bitter drink, or drink with a lot of black pepper in it. You're not going to drink that. You take a sip of that, and your body is just going to go, whoa, no, right? It's just going to shut down. It's going to express a big no to it. But when you're drinking a cucumber drink, at that moment the body is open to it, right? I mean, so the senses of the body, whatever, I'm not very knowledgeable about the biology of in the mouth and all the glands, the taste buds, all of that is receptive to the cucumber drink. So that is happening. The body is, in many ways that we don't understand, maybe biologists would know, or some sort of food scientist could explain the process. So the body is saying yes. And you're on board with that the body is saying yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you continue drinking because the body is basically continuing to say yes until at some point the body says enough. Okay, it says, okay, good enough. And at that moment, you would stop the drink. And so the commentary, wow, that was really good. I really like that. In a way, it follows. It's an expression. It's a mind expression of a physiological experience. You're on board with that, or?
Yeah, I am. But that physiological experience, or that's actually a mental process, right? It's not really. Well, we call it matter, but physiological is really, it's a mental process, right?
Well, okay. The bee is biologically wired to butinate, to go from flower to flower, right?
Yeah.
Certain animals are attracted via the sense of scent. Like you give a dog a tomato, no, they're attracted towards whatever. Maybe they eat meat. I'm not sure what dogs eat, really. It's dog food industry now. Who knows what they're eating? So that's in the biology. That's in the physiology. That's in the at the makeup of the biological makeup, the DNA makeup. It has nothing to do with consciousness. It has nothing to do with consciousness as consciousness itself. Although everything is consciousness, we are talking about biology here, right?
Yeah.
So your biology at that moment, because it changes. Sometimes you don't feel like eating savory. Sometimes you want to eat something non-savory, and sometimes you want to eat something savory. So your actual attraction or appeal of the body at the body level changes. In the morning, you don't want to wake up and have a beer. You want to wake up and have a cup of tea or whatever, orange juice. But in the evening, you don't feel like having an orange juice. You may feel like you would like to have a beer or whatever. So all of that has to do with the body. And the appreciation is a record, is a recording, is the imprint of the experience. Like you had the beer, wow, that felt really good. That was a really nice, refreshing drink. So the mind is making a note, is making a commentary about the experience. Because the mind registers the after effect of the experience.
So Magdi, is that the mind enjoying that drink and awareness is just aware of that enjoyment?
Yes.
Or is that, okay.
Yes, because awareness is not in the enjoyment business.
All right, okay.
Awareness is...
Yeah, oh, sorry. I was just going to ask too, because I was thinking about something that, I think it was Rupert that said that at the end of the day, I don't think he used those words, but it's all about the knowing. Really, there's just the knowing of experience. There's really no experience, so to speak. There's just a knowing of it. So if whatever experience you're having, it's just the knowing of that experience that's really happening. It's really going on. Does that make sense to you? How would that play into this? Like, well, okay, so you're tasting something, so there's just the knowing of that tasting. Is that really what it comes down to? It's just the knowing and not the actual tasting?
I wouldn't. Anything that I would attribute to consciousness. So the game of knowing phenomenally, meaning the game of knowing the taste of beer or beer itself, is consciousness is doing. There is no other player in town. The game of tasting belongs to consciousness. Who else is playing this game? There is no other entity anywhere. So it's important to understand that consciousness is non-phenomenal. It is the creator and the perceiver and the destroyer of everything, of all experiences, all phenomenal experiences. So it's not like a dog is tasting or a cat is tasting some milk from the. No, consciousness is not a cat tasting the milk. But what is a cat tasting the milk other than consciousness itself? Consciousness is not tasting the milk, and yet everything is consciousness. The cat, the milk, the cup, the ground on which the cat is standing, the owner of the cat, the color around the cat's neck, whichever way you want to define it via the mind. Because all definitions are via the mind, which is behind the mind is consciousness doing that.
So, I guess what was confusing me is, because when I hear something like, it's just there's just the knowing of something. So within phenomena, the body's taking a drink and it's enjoying the drink. I guess it's almost like, I guess there's a the subject and object, where the subject is whatever, taking the drink in, and then feeling that the sensation of the drink. I guess when you take it out of that realm of the subject object, it's all happening at once. It's like it's a simultaneous happening, right? Where there's tasting and tasted. Okay, I'm getting this now. I think I'm just answering my own question. It's a simultaneous thing where the tasting is really just, there's no subject object. There's just tasting going on, and it's registering in consciousness. Okay, I think I'm getting that. Okay, yep.
The subject arises as a thought. I am tasting the drink. It's as a thought. And the drink itself is a perception, is a taste. It's also thought-like. So the entire experience of perceiver perceived, or doer and doing, is in the realm of thought.
Yeah, and tasting and tasted, the same thing, right?
Tasting, the taster, and the tasted, whatever it is that is being tasted.
Yeah.
They're all, at the mind level, they exist as I am tasting a cucumber drink.
Yeah.
But the reality of the tasting and the taster and the tasted is not at the mind level. So it's okay. There's no problem with the narrative that yesterday I tasted a cucumber drink and it was really delicious. I'd like to have another one tomorrow, or whatever. The understanding is what matters. The understanding is that there isn't a separate anything. There is no separate taster or separate knower or separate doer, or there is just one reality. And if you try to understand the reality, if you try to understand the reality at the mind level, using the mind, you will not succeed. You will just find yourself spinning in thought. The way to understand reality is via the understanding, via your direct experience. It's an experiential understanding that I is real, but not as an object. That I, the reality of I, is not an object. It's not a taster, it's not a body, it's not a knower. That I is the noumenal reality. Reality is invisible phenomenally, but it's undeniable. And that the I, when you refer to I, it is I which is referring to itself. It is the noumenal. It is consciousness referring to itself. Everything else is mind, which is fine. It's because mind, meaning thoughts, sensations, perceptions, are the creation, the manifestation of consciousness. That right now, in this moment, whatever thoughts appear to you, their substance, their essence is consciousness. Whatever sensations appear to you, it could be you're drinking a coconut drink or a pineapple drink. That the essence of this experience is consciousness. Its reality is consciousness. Whatever thoughts you're having, whatever thoughts you're perceiving, the thought itself is made out of consciousness, and that which perceives the thought is consciousness. And they're not two, meaning it's an instantaneous. It's an instantaneity. Creation does not occur in time. The impression of time is within creation, but creation does not occur in time. It is in the eternity of now, the eternity of being, that there is creation, perception, and dissolution. So you cannot understand what I'm saying via the mind. But what is available to you is the reality of awareness, the reality of consciousness, which is your reality. That would be your direct, that would be your direct path to the understanding. So in terms of the experiences that consciousness creates, there are infinite. There is the snail's experience, there is the butterfly's experience. There are infinite minds. And within infinite minds, there are infinite experiences of tasting, of missing, of tiredness, of whatever. You know, there are infinite experiences of hunting, or of what, I don't know what the experience of the snake is, but the snake is a snake's mind, which changes, of course, you know, from morning to night. I don't know much about it. But it's not dissimilar to the experiences of a body-mind. But that which is real within all experiences is that which is of interest. So although consciousness is not in the business of tasting a cucumber drink, the body-mind Frank, who is enjoying the cucumber drink, is nothing else but consciousness. You cannot rule it out. You cannot say that's anything else but consciousness. But yet you cannot say that consciousness is drinking a juice or is enjoying a juice. Either you say consciousness is enjoying everything, not just Frank's pineapple drink, but Jimmy's noodles, and the sunshine shining onto the lake. Either consciousness is everything, or it's nothing. But you can, if you say consciousness is enjoying the pineapple drink, but is not enjoying the noodle dish that Billy is having in Calcutta, then you are dividing consciousness into many different entities. So you can consider a dreamer that is dreaming all dreams, zillions and zillions dreams, beyond any limitation. It creates dreams, perceives it, and dissolves it at its will, including this conversation, including Frank enjoying the pineapple drink or whatever, cucumber drink, including everything else. So then you are closer to the understanding about consciousness as this one and only reality. Means it's the reality of everything, the only reality. And if actually, in fact, when there is a reality, there are no things. There are no separate objects or separate things within reality. How can you separate in the ocean drops of water? You cannot separate them.
Magdi, that really cleared things up for me. Thanks so much. I really, because I think part of the question was, I think part of the question I had for myself was like, who's enjoying this drink? And now I realize it's all, I mean, it's all consciousness. You can't really split things, you know, like body, mind versus consciousness. It's just all consciousness. So I can say I was enjoying that drink. I was enjoying that drink. I, as consciousness, was enjoying that drink. I, as body, mind. It's all consciousness.
Yes.
Okay.
You could say that that consciousness via body, mind, Frank is enjoying the cucumber drink, and simultaneously via zillion other possibilities besides the humanoids is also enjoying infinite other creativities, including wars, including a leopard hunting the antelope.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right.
Thanks, Magdi.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll mute myself.
Yes. Hello, Anna. I see your hand is raised, so you have to unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you. I was
yes.
waiting for your permission. Thank you for letting me talk. I understood that Frank's complication seems to me to be the complication that we have with the definition of what is real and what it's not real. As long as we limit our perception to reality as matter, we are trapped, because just like you just said, everything is consciousness. And you cannot comprehend conscience within the limited constraints of time and space of the linear mind. Consciousness just is. I am experiencing this experience to be with all of you as much as my dream is an experience, and it's as real as my dream. Like, who likes Coca-Cola? But if you taste Coca-Cola without a program, you say, ew, look, this is so chemical. But we, through a process of programming, enter into this wave of thought that it's good. So it's just consciousness. There is, I think the problem comes when we want to make things as if they exist within the realm of matter.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, every time we shift inside, everything shifts outside. So if matter is real, how can it shift? The last time I was in your group, Magdi, I was diagnosed with lung cancer stage 3A. So many things happen outside. Today I have no more cancer. The cancer and the glass and the table, it's just not there as we think it is, isn't it?
Well,
Okay.
there is it's important to be clear about when we say consciousness, what are we referring to? So it's a good opportunity to remind each other what we mean by consciousness. So consciousness is in this moment, okay? So we're not going to go into the past and the future. We're not going to go into concept. So experientially, consciousness is that which in this moment is. And that which truly, really perceives. It is, meaning it is something rather than nothing. You cannot deny being. What would deny being? It's not possible to deny being. You can deny being a man because the man appears, the body appears to you. It could be a hallucination. But you cannot deny being because being does not appear to you. Being refers to isness. Being is. So in terms of consciousness, consciousness is isness. It is being. And it is the reality which perceives. Being is real. Being is real means non-being cannot be. Isness cannot not be. There is being and there is no such thing as non-being. Reality has no opposite. Being has no opposite. And awareness has no opposite. Phenomenal awareness has an opposite. For example, I perceive an oak tree, so there is awareness of the oak tree, but it has an opposite, which would be there is no oak tree and there is no awareness of an oak tree. There is no oak tree. Somebody came with a saw and cut the oak tree. And now there is awareness of the field, but where is the oak tree? It's gone. So phenomenal awareness, meaning the awareness of a certain object can change because the object, that which is perceived, can change. But awareness itself does not change because awareness does not depend on perceiving the oak tree. And suddenly the oak tree is not there because we cut it off and now awareness is disappeared. No. Awareness does not depend on the presence or the absence of the oak tree. Why? Because awareness is self-aware. It is self-aware 24/7. It never experiences non-awareness. Awareness never knows, does not know non-awareness. It's not possible. Awareness is like a light that has no switch. It's always on. There is no off switch. There is no dimmer or off switch to awareness. Awareness is always aware. It is self-aware. In the absence of the oak tree, in the absence of objects, it is aware. In the presence of object, it is aware and it is aware of the oak tree. Is understanding about consciousness, awareness. Awareness is an attribute of consciousness because consciousness has many other attributes besides awareness, which are love, beauty, intelligence, freedom, compassion, etc. But they're all the same. It's all one. It's like you say your hand has, it's one hand, but all the fingers compose one hand. They're all different, but they're all the same. It's not, they're not really different. Beauty is not different from love. Love is not different from freedom. Freedom is not different from compassion or intelligence. So the understanding about consciousness and awareness is very important. And it is sufficient. If you come to deep understanding about what we are talking about when we define awareness, when we talk about reality and consciousness, you don't need to do anything else. You can just keep returning to that understanding.
Thank you, Magdi. It's so beautiful to hear through. Thank you.
Just one more comment that consciousness, awareness is not personal. It is universal. There are no borders to it, nowhere where it begins and ends. It doesn't belong to me. There is no owner to consciousness, to awareness. It is universal. And everything that you perceive does not stand outside of consciousness. If it stood outside of consciousness, you would never perceive it. It would be separate. When you're perceiving an object, you are perceiving your perception. Where is your perception? Ask yourself, where is your perception? It is not out there somewhere. It is intimately within your own being.
Magdi, because of this, isn't it wonderful? Every time we meet somebody or something that we feel bothered by, we just know, hey, it's here.
Yes, whenever we are bothered by something or somebody, we have first, this somebody is nobody else but ourselves. We are bothered with ourselves. Why be bothered with yourself? You make yourself sick this way. It's an inner conflict. The other is yourself. When you are bothered with somebody, you're separating yourself from yourself, imagining that you are right and the other is wrong. It's all in your head. It's an unhappy inner conflict that you are having with yourself. This makes you sick. You don't need to do that. Hello, Ali. I see you have your hand up. You need to unmute yourself.
Hello, Magdi.
Yes. Hello.
You're...
Nice to see you.
Yeah, I had a question after what Frank said.
Yes.
Which when you said, which was kind of related to the knowing stuff. So when you said that consciousness, creates like an infinite set of dreams or something, and experiences all of them. Would it be okay, or would it be true to say that all there is to those dreams is just the knowing of them?
Yes, you could say all there is of those dreams is the knowing of them, but there is no reality to the dreams. And knowing of something can give you the impression that there is something that is known by somebody. I just want to make that comment that there is really nothing. It's like, how do you know a mirage? There isn't something real out there to be known outside of your very self as presence, as consciousness. So you could say that, yeah, you are knowing yourself. You're knowing yourself as a dream. You're knowing yourself as this conversation. You could say that, yes, with the caveat that that which you are knowing is non-dual. There is no duality between the knower and the known. So in other words, there is no reality to phenomenal knowing. All knowing is noumenal. All knowing is non-phenomenal. There is no phenomenal knowing, in fact.
Right. So that would mean that there are no objects, really.
Absolutely. There are no objects. An object is a concept, which is okay as long as you are clear that, okay, we're talking about concepts, so it's fine. We use concepts to communicate and to play. But there is no objects, because an object, if you believe that there is an object, then there would be an objective reality. And so then there'd be an objective and a subjective reality, two separate realities. But if there is one reality, then you have the subjective and the objective. You ask yourself, which one is it? Is it the objective or is it the subjective? In a way, it doesn't matter as long as you stay with one reality. But we know that the object, you come back, you know, later somebody stole the car that you had parked in your garage. So that objective reality is gone. Somebody's cut all the parts and sold it downtown, you know. But you,
Right.
the subject, remains. So we say, okay, there is one reality, and it's the reality of consciousness, the reality of I. But what matters is the understanding that there is one reality, and there is no objects. Therefore, as soon as you say objects, you're moving in the wrong direction in terms of understanding about consciousness. I am not denying that you need 4 tires, for your car, and you need a spare in the trunk. I'm not denying that. I'm not speaking neo-Advaita, okay? This is.
Yeah. So I'm quite happy to participate, sort of, like kind of participate in the world, like as some sort of celebration. I'm quite happy to, but I don't know. But I if there is only one reality, wouldn't that mean that the world has really no level of existence
Outside of the reality of consciousness? Correct. It does not have any level of existence of its own, but it does have existence as consciousness. And we are the avatars right now within that dream, within the creative aspect of consciousness. There is Magdi, there is Ali, Trish, and many other friends here. And what's your problem with that?
Right, okay, yeah. Because sometimes like when I'm contemplating the truth or whatever, and when I really look for an object, in my, like, when I really look for the object, I never find it, and when I perceive objects, really all I'm perceiving is the knowing rather than the object itself. And then that kind of leads me to this, that has led me to sort of experiences where it feels as if though that which is perceived is appearing within me, like
yes.
And so, but then
what is this you? We say within me. When you say me, what are you referring to?
I think it would have to be reality, because like it's clear in those moments that I'm not the body, I'm not like a set of perceptions or anything.
So that's what's important for you to investigate. Yes, perceptions appear within me, or the knowingness, you know, I am this knowingness. But so the me, as long as when you are referring to I, you are not referring to any limited form.
Right, okay, yeah.
In other words, as long as you do not know what I is, the field is open. In other words, as long as you don't put on a costume on this I, that I means this and that and that, as long as you remain not knowing about this I, you're good.
Right, okay, yeah.
Everything appears within me, and I do not know what this I is. Everything appears within I, within consciousness, but I don't know what this consciousness is, nor do I need to know. Consciousness does not need to know itself because it already is itself. It knows itself by being itself. It does not need to know itself via the mind as I am this and that and that and that and that and that.
Right. And then when it comes to not knowing myself, sometimes I kind of realize some sort of separation or some sort of suffering, and in those moments I have realized that I am believing to be an object, or I'm no longer, I think I know what I am or something.
Yes, when you think you know what you are, you will experience a sense of limitation, worry, and sense of fear and concern, sense of lack, because you define yourself in any limited way, in a limited way. Whichever way you define yourself, whenever you say, I know what I am, you have limited your not knowingness. Not knowing is borderless, is a completely open field, open stage. It is the knowing about what I am, which is the culprit.
And do you have any advice on sort of how to go back to the to not knowing? Because sometimes it does feel as if though I'm kind of stuck in, like I've realized that I'm believing to be something.
When you ask, how do I go back to not knowing? Who are you trying to help?
Right, yeah.
So you're trying to improve something. For whom? For is something you know that I don't know? So when you become interested in helping somebody, helping yourself, improving yourself, getting to a better place, you are choosing to play that game. I know what I am. Let me see how I can improve myself. Let me see how I can take myself to the place of not knowing. You already crowded the stage, you know, with this hidden notion that I am somebody. Let's think about like, you can't do not knowing. You can't do it. You cannot do it. But you can notice. And that happens of its own because of your interest. It's not like you've got to do something, but you can notice how you are bringing somebody on stage now. You can notice, oh, okay, here I am, here it is. I need to figure, get what practice can I get in order to, you can notice that. And then you cannot know it. Say, oh, interesting. No idea what that is about. You can just be not knowing, because in fact, you don't even know what that is about, where it came from or what it's about. Really, if you ask yourself deeply, I don't have a freaking idea. And that's good enough. See, the thing is, you don't need to have a freaking idea. You don't need to. I don't know what I am. I know that I am, whatever that is. I don't know what I am, nor do I need to know what I am. But if you want to torture yourself, you can play the game of I need to know what I am.
Yeah.
And then you will find that you define yourself via some past. You will define yourself, and you will have some future goals, and you will be playing the game of trying to improve the past and making it a better future. But in fact, there is no past and future. When it comes to not knowing, there is no past and no future. There is no time. Time is a thought that arises, a memory of yesterday, a memory when I was 18 years old, a memory when I was 40, a memory when I was 20, memory. Time is a thought that arises within the spaciousness of not knowing. And the reality of the thought is not knowing. Not knowing is more real, is a lot more real than any knowing. So you could say everything is made of the knowing. I would say everything is made of the not knowing. That is
I like that.
That is more true than everything is made of the knowing. Oh, I'm not speaking about I'm not speaking about somebody else's teaching. I'm just speaking right now, just in our conversation. I'm not making a commentary about Rupert's teaching or anybody else's teaching. That's not what is meant at all, please.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Magdi. It just seems as if though dropping the seeking is kind of
well, you know,
going to happen anyway. I guess
I would advise you not to drop the seeking if you believe and feel that the seeking is real, that it's going to get you. You know, then don't drop the seeking. Don't drop the seeking, but ask yourself, if you like, on whose behalf am I seeking? And what is it that is seeking? And what is the future? Because anything that you are seeking, you're going to get it later, right? You're going to find it. You're seeking it because it's not here. So what is time? Ask yourself, what is the future? Is there a reality to tomorrow? Just ask this question. What is the reality of tomorrow? Okay, so you'll find that, okay, today is actually tomorrow, because it's the tomorrow of yesterday, right? Today is the tomorrow of yesterday. And today is the yesterday of tomorrow. Holy cow. I mean, wait a minute, that's messing with my head. On one hand, today is the tomorrow of yesterday, is the yesterday of tomorrow. What does that mean? Oh. And do I exist in time? Because I need to exist in time. I need to be there inside time so I can get the loot. You know, when I get the loot after tomorrow, I got to be there inside that time, open the chest, the golden chest, and get all the loot. I got to be in time. So ask yourself, right now, am I in time? Or is time appearing to me as whatever, as a feeling, as a sensation, as a thought, as a tick-tock of a clock? You will find that you don't actually exist in time. You see the thing, quite a few people realize that, but then they go back, they realize that. They say, yeah, I get it. But then they go back to, maybe I need to seek it and get it tomorrow. You understand? Okay, you can reflect about that. Another thing is, consider that the seeking game is God's play. She's bored, she wants to play a game. She says, okay, you know what? Let me forget who I am. Let me try to seek myself. I'm going to find myself if I stand on my head and I do nama, nama, rama, nama, rama, 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 nama, and I'm going to, you know, ask a billion questions, and I'm going to discover myself in the year June 2023. Consider this just as God is, she's playing the game, because she cannot be anything else but herself. She cannot be non-God. Being cannot be anything else, cannot be non-being. It can't. So, okay. So he said, how am I going to play this game? I know that I am, and I know that I am what I am. How am I going to play this game? Oh, you know what? I'm going to create an avatar. I'm going to call him Ali. I'm going to create an avatar. And that avatar, you know, I'm going to hypnotize that avatar to believe that he is separate from me, that he is separate from me. And then he's going to seek me. I'm going to inject him with, you are missing me. Okay, first I inject him, oh, you are not me. And then I inject him, you are missing me. So here I am not God. And I'm injected with, I've got to find her. I am me, I am me, I am not God, but I've got to find her. So I've got two injections. The first injection that she gave her avatar, she created her avatar, right? Her avatar is her creation. And she injected her avatar with, I don't know who I am, I forgot that I'm already God. So I got to play the game of forgetting. And then you have to seek. You have to seek. And you seek and you seek as you seek until you seek, you climb this mountain, you climb the other mountain, you travel to India, China, you investigate, you try, you know, all sorts of tapas and namas and whatever you try. You do all sorts of things, ascetic, you go, you live in a cave, you come back from the cave and so on. And one day you're like exhausted, you're exhausted. And then the injections have exhausted themselves. It's been 40,000 years. And you realize, oh, wow, that was a fun game. God realizes to herself, she tells herself, darn, that was a really good game. I'm going to play it again. I'm going to play it again. So lighten up a little bit about it, about the seeking. Okay, I mean, seek, you know, why not? Seek, if you want to seek a little bit, seek, but Then don't get yourself exhausted with the seeking. You know, because you are seeking what you are. You're seeking yourself. You're seeking yourself. You're seeking the self. There's only one self. There aren't many selves. You are the self. We give too much importance to feelings. Oh, I'm feeling like this. Oh, God, I'm feeling. We give too much importance to feelings. Feelings are like bodily sensations with a lot of stories in our head. You know, it should be like this. Oh, why did she do this? Why did he do that? It's like all the. But you can cure all of this by asking yourself, what is my reality? You don't need to seek. You can ask yourself, what is my reality? Is it a limited consciousness? Is it a limited self? What is the evidence for that? Investigate. You will find that there's no, it's just a lot of beliefs. And then you come to, okay, well, I am absolutely certain that I don't have any evidence that I'm limited. Okay. You come to not knowing. And then you live as that. You've got to live your life as not knowing what I am. And I don't need to know what I am. But of course, in life, it's a different story. In life, you are, you know, I mean, in life, I'm saying interactions, when you go to your job, you are Ali. When you meet your friends, you're Ali. You're not going to say, oh, gee, I don't know what I am. You know, no. Of course, you understand. I'm not speaking some foolish stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you all. Very lovely to be with you. Trish, Nadine, hello, Mina. Hi, Holly. Frank, hello, Frank. Lisa. Olga. Richard. Hi, John. Hello, Marga. Malcolm, hello, Malcolm. And David. Thank you all.